In Cyberpunk 2077, the player has the choice of obtaining the Mantis Blades within the game, as an optional choice to add to their arsenal of weapons during their playthrough experience. But the speculative scenario is this: could these weapons be actually used within real life outside the game's concepts? When the video game was first released, the concept of the Mantis Blades were actually one of the most talked about from the game, as there were some serious discussions about them on if they could be created or used practically. From in-game lore, the Mantis Blades were considered to be that of somewhat experimental technology, even in the year of 2077, as the blades, in some form, went all the way back to 2013, with Johnny Silverhand nearly being killed by someone who wielded them, as the difference from 2013 to 2077 still had the Mantis Blades being somewhat inaccessible for the majority of the population within Night City. The Mantis insect, of which the blades were named for, have two spiked forelegs which can be used to grasp and hold prey. Due to the anatomy of a mantis, the legs can actually extend and combine to form a longer appendage, with spikes along the outer rim to hold the said prey of the mantis. In the Cyberpunk games, the blades are hidden within the forearm or even the upper arm of the person with the cybernetic implant. In-game, the Mantis Blades were known to have a notorious reputation for being a ruthless and even sadistic weapon. Even with all of the futuristic appendages and accessories that people could use for whatever reason, the Mantis Blades stuck out within the population of Night City. Further, lore had it that there were specific laws created and implemented within the United States and Europe as a result of the Mantis Blade usage, as well as the specific threats that Mantis Blade users specifically pose to the wider community. While most guns in the Cyberpunk 2077 game could be concealed yet noticed by scanning with ocular implants or other methods, Mantis Blades were concealed more discreetly, and the only time that someone might notice that another had Mantis Blade implants were when it was far too late to do anything about it. When the player went through the Beat on the Brat side missions to see who was the best boxer in Night City, it was mentioned more than once that Mantis Blade implant users were the only sort of people to be banned from the bare-knuckle boxing participation, as that particular feature stood out against all others, while other sorts of implants or enhancements were allowed. From gorilla arm users to nanofiber skin users and even augmented muscles, Mantis Blade implants were considered to be that dangerous and that unfair. With all of this considered, such implications in real life would also mean that Mantis Blade implants would be theoretically heavily regulated, perhaps even banned in some regions of the world, as the in-game lore mentioned that due to the technology and the evolution of weapon usage as well as weapon concealment, it was only natural that such blades would be created, as it was hinted at in the game that the Mantis Blades should have never been created. For a person to have a bladed weapon to be concealed within their forearm to be used at a moment's notice, and depending of the quality of the implant to be nearly undetectable, is essentially a nightmare in real life as it already is within the game. It was also hinted that exceptionally skilled Mantis Blade users could even deflect bullets with the blades, which even made them a legitimate threat against guns, as in real life a Mantis Blade user could also deflect or even ricochet bullets from a person firing a gun. With the ocular, synaptic, immune system as well as computational aspects of technology, it seems more than possible, which makes the entire concept of collateral damage on innocent people getting killed due to reflections from Mantis Blades against bullets a very real problem for the people within the theoretical vicinity of the Mantis Blade implant user in a congested, crowded, or chaotic area. Despite Cyberpunk 2077 having its flaws, the concept of the Mantis Blades were arguably revolutionary, and in a later released game, Dying Light 2 had their own version of the Mantis Blades as a hidden spoof or tribute to the concept of the weapons within the game, as the blades depicted in Dying Light, as the blades were less quality in terms of technology when in comparison to the 2077 version, on that they were essentially ordinary blades or hooks tied to the wrists of the player. With everything considered, the Mantis Blades could be or would be that of a weapon of the future. It's just a matter of when, where, or even how.